The last several years has been a tough time to be a PC laptop guy, and I'm gonna give you 5 reasons. M1, M2, M3, M4, and most recently, M5. We've got the new MacBook Pro with their M5 processor, which doesn't change much, but if we're being honest, probably doesn't need to. By the way, I'm an investor in Framework. Do you like my hoodie? Damn, that's cool. Inside the box, we get a MagSafe power cable that's got a Type-C on one end and a MagSafe on the other. Okay, not everybody's super into it, but I love the MagSafe. Clumsy guy. Under here, we've got, lo and behold, an Apple product that still comes with a power brick. I don't think that's new though, is it? Let's have a look at some more things that aren't new. On the right side, we've got a full-sized SD card reader, Thunderbolt 4 port, HDMI 2.1 port, none of which are new. And on the left, we've got our MagSafe, 2 more Thunderbolt 4 ports, as well as an amplified 3.5mm jack. Not new, but definitely appreciated. Flipping it open, we've got macOS Tahoe. Now that's new, and I've actually got a few key features that Apple highlighted here. The first of which is, of course, liquid glass, so translucency and transparency on some UI elements to go perfectly with your iOS 26 iDevice. I don't always love it, like sometimes you end up with like kind of weird stuff like this, but for the most part, I was a big fan of Windows Vista, and I'm a pretty big fan of this. It looks really cool, even if it doesn't look as clean. Spotlight even lets you send messages, add notes, and with these quick keys, create little like shortcuts. So if I was like, I don't know, JFK means I wanna make a note on what really happened, for instance. Okay, I could go JFK and bring up a quick note. It was all a hoax. He's still alive. Live translations have been added to iMessage, the phone app, as well as captions on FaceTime, and they've got the ability to schedule tasks and shortcuts to run automatically. That's right, my friends, that Windows 2000 feature, Task Scheduler, now on macOS. Did they not have a way to schedule a task before? Surely there must have been. I'm gonna find out in Safari. Command line utility cron, the Automator app combined with Calendar for graphical tasks, or third-party apps like Launch on Time. Oh, so they didn't have just like a built-in GUI way to do it. What they have had this whole time is a really nice keyboard. They haven't made any big changes here, but honestly, ever since the butterfly switch fiasco, I don't really think they've needed to. I find it extremely comfortable to type on, and it's fast. It's also got all the buttons I need and none that I don't, including Touch ID, which can be used, of course, for authentication when you're logging in and to make purchases. There's still no Face ID on the MacBook due to the thinness of the screen, but personally, I don't even prefer it on the iPhone, so I don't see this as a problem.
Why?
It's just not more convenient for me. I'm not always looking at my device like this. Like sometimes it's like over there and I'm just gonna use it here, and it'd be nice if I could just touch my in-screen sensor like I can on my Pixel. Like here, I don't have to pick this up, I can go like this. What else is there to say about the hardware? The trackpad's still great. The display is not set to 120 Hertz for some reason, but the display is still great. We ran it through our usual suite of tests, and we found that while the default high dynamic range profile was kind of all over the place for accuracy, the best profiles for both SDR and HDR were extremely accurate with no real problems related to color. The one area we did run into some issues was gamma, so you might end up with your darks crushed a little bit, but it was nothing game-breaking whatsoever. And just like we've come to expect from Apple's mobile devices, the display is extremely bright, reaching in excess of their claimed 1600 nits peak brightness in certain conditions. ProMotion. God, why don't you just say 120 Hertz?
Because it's not constant.
Then just say 120 Hertz variable. You know what though? I don't even know that I would use 120 Hertz day to day. I've been using this, what is it? EliteBook X. It's 40 Hertz by default. I've gotten used to it, and I'm kind of loving the battery life. Ooh, speaking of battery life, over 9 hours in our testing. Okay, that is well short of Apple's claimed 22 hours or something like that. But our test is a little bit more demanding, running the screen brightness at 200 nits and using Plex for over network playback, meaning that under even very real world representative conditions, you can expect all day battery life out of an M5 MacBook Pro. Let's go ahead and fire up some HDR content, shall we? How about this video, full of segues to our sponsor?
Thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Experience a free-to-play vehicle combat extravaganza that's great for all skill levels with War Thunder. With over 2,500 realistically modeled tanks, ships, and aircraft, each encounter with the enemy on its vast battlefields will be uniquely thrilling. And with the next level damage modeling that can disable individual components, you can really hone in your skills and live your War Machine Commander fantasy, all from the comfort of your own home. Available on PC, consoles, and even mobile devices for some on-the-go destruction. You can jump right in by using our link in the description today.
Boy, does Apple ever talk a lot about the AI capabilities of the MacBook Pro, specifically the M5 chip. They claim that the M5 is up to 6 times faster for AI compared to the M1. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I finished high school, I was at least 5 times stronger than I was when I was in grade school. So that's something that Apple and I have in common, is we're way better than we were a really long time ago. In all seriousness though, I can see why Apple is making comparisons to the M1 generation, because the biggest problem that I see for them around Apple Silicon is that it was already so good 5 years ago that it's hard to convince people that are running M1 MacBooks that they really need to upgrade. And I don't know if AI is their best selling point here. We only ran very limited AI testing, and yeah, it's a lot faster than the early Apple Silicon, but we were actually more impressed by the improvements to both single-threaded performance on the CPU, as well as especially the GPU. Like, okay, in gaming, it's not that much faster than even an M1 Max, but that was the Max configuration with 24 GPU cores. This has just 10 GPU cores. That is way more efficient, and gaming is not the be-all and end-all, especially for Apple users. When we look at Blender rendering, it destroys Apple's older generation GPUs in terms of efficiency. So that M4 Pro that we've got there, yeah, okay, it's faster, but that has 16 GPU cores. Again, this has only 10. When we see an M5 Pro, I'm sure it's going to absolutely slay. Let's just leave it on whatever the defaults are and continue our game. Ooh, man, how do MacBooks have such good speakers? Like Apple and Dell, they just make everybody else look stupid. This looks like it's running in HDR too. This looks great. Oh yeah, it totally is. Oh man, coming toward this like blindingly bright window. Oh, it looks so good. Let's try out the webcam. As expected, that is a fine looking webcam and supports center stage, keeping you in frame. I don't think it does it in photo booth. Nope, maybe it's a feature. Can we enable it? Hey, there we go. Look at that. Puts me right at center stage. Looks like I'm on a Zoom call with myself. Hi, Linus. How you doing? Oh, great, but man, did you get that memo from Linus? Yeah, man, f that guy. What an ass. One of Apple's highlight features is that you can now get the non-Pro Silicon, so just the regular M5 with up to 4 terabytes of storage. For me, the bigger deal is that as of last gen, they don't have any 8 gig RAM starting models anymore, so even the base model at $1,600 has 16 gigs of RAM. For me, the 512 storage in the base model is probably enough, but your mileage may vary, meaning that by the time you actually get one of these that's configured the way you'd like it, you're probably spending a couple grand. Is it worth it? Man, it depends on what you're comparing it to. Like if you're comparing it to some Chromebook at Best Buy or whatever, yeah, MacBook looks really expensive. But if you compare it to a premium workstation PC, like this HP that I've been daily driving, there is so much to love about the MacBook. It's thinner, the battery life is comparable or better, it feels nicer, the display is brighter, this isn't even HDR at all, and maxes out at 60 Hertz. And this machine is like 4 grand or something like that, because it has Strix Halo in it. It's no wonder then to me that Apple has been continuously growing their market share. Also, that's partially because, as far as I can tell, nobody who's bought Apple Silicon feels the need to upgrade, so macOS market share just go up. They don't even have to sell that many more MacBooks necessarily. Subscribe to ShortCircuit. See you later.